Hello, everyone. Welcome back to I'll Name This Podcast Later. I'm Real, and I'm here with my friend slash co-host. Forgot the word for a second. We're going to let everyone introduce themselves, which is something we didn't do last time. I kind of just went through and said their names, and you didn't know who was who. So we're going to start from Knock and just work our way up because DDK is muted. I don't know why. Anyways, Knock, go ahead
Yo,
and
what's up?
introduce
It's
yourself.
Knock.
And then Lucky,
Hello.
Kenny,
Hello.
and then Grim.
Yo, what's up? It's me, your boy.
And then DDK.
Yo, what's poppin'? It's DDK.
We also have 3 other people in here, but I don't think they're actually going to talk. But anyways, today in this podcast, we decided to do a themed episode. It's going to be conspiracy theories. It was something that was suggested by Knock himself, and I really like the idea because conspiracy theories are cool. And he wanted to start on 9/11 being an inside job. So I'm just going to let Knock take the lead on this one.
Yeah, it's an inside job.
Yeah, is that all you have to say? It's just an inside job.
Yeah, it's an inside job. It's a false flag by the American government. Like, it's proven, in my opinion.
Yeah, from my understanding, who was the president at the time? It was Bush.
Bush.
Yeah, it was
W.
Bush. From my understanding, Bush had multiple warnings about it, but he ignored all of them, and it happened anyways. And it was kind of just a way to get oil out of that area. So that's my understanding. I don't know too much about it because I'm not too big into conspiracy theories. But this is why we're doing it. It's a learning experience, So yeah, I just know jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams.
Big facts.
Does anybody agree with me? It's an inside job.
I'm like spec. I don't know if I exactly agree. But,
I definitely don't agree because like it doesn't make sense from any viewpoint.
What doesn't make sense?
So like, why would you go through all that effort for some fucking oil when you could just take the oil?
Take the oil from where?
being politically correct.
We're America. We started wars for less. I'm just saying. So
Yeah, but
it doesn't make sense from any viewpoint really for it to be an inside job. So like, I'm not behind it at all.
But the thing is, from like how the towers even fell. Like, if really the jet fuel or whatever did melt the fucking steel beams or whatever, like it would have like toppled over and not collapsed like straight down. You know what I mean? Because it just like collapsed on top.
So you're saying they have planted additional explosives?
I don't know exactly, but
that's usually what the general thing is.
Okay, what I believe is that this might have been the beginning point for fingers to be pointed at Muslims on the topic of terrorism.
Totally agree on that.
Because let's see, how many times were Muslims blamed for terrorist attacks before 9/11?
I wasn't born.
Well, after that, it was basically the trend.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Even to this day, even in places away from America, let's say France. Every time something there happens that is bombing or whatever, fingers are immediately pointed at Muslims, and then this created an illusion to say, and that people always blame Muslims when actually the religion itself, if you look into it, it's not all about that.
So you believe the American government kind of set up a thing to point fingers at Muslims? They had like an agenda almost.
It's not the first time it's happened. In the Cold War, there was an operation called Operation Northwood. It was proposed to the president. They wanted to attack their own country to blame Cuba so they can start a war with Cuba. Of course, it didn't pass, but if something like that can happen, then anything can. If you get me.
Well,
there's an example for this.
Well, someone was talking and just kind of Kenny. What were you
I
saying?
was going to follow up with that. I was going to say that there's an example to this. For Cuba to be taken up by America and for a case of war to be present, there had to be a reason. They took the sinking of their ship, I forgot the name, might have been the USS Maine, as a reason for Cuba to basically declare war against America. And that led to Cuba become part of America.
The main was to declare war on Spain to take the Caribbean, I think. Not Cuba
So
particularly.
if you believe that, Graham, then why don't you believe that they could have done something like 9/11?
It's not I believe it. It's fucking history and well recorded and shit versus someone just saying, well, this could have happened or this could be the reason this happened.
I mean, we can find out soon after they release all the 9/11 papers.
Yeah, like I said, if it really was like, if the tower really fell over because of the plane crashing, I would have believed it like toppled over, not like fall on top of itself. You know what I mean? Because it just collapsed on top of itself. If you watch the video, it didn't like fall over. You know.
Also, they didn't release the video of the Pentagon getting attacked. So why is that?
Yeah, actually,
They have the videos. They didn't release them.
Yeah, I don't remember ever seeing a video of Pentagon getting attacked. Or was
So,
there one?
I don't recall there ever being footage of the Pentagon being attacked. I just recall Go ahead.
I mean, it's the Pentagon. They have cameras everywhere, so of course they have footage of it.
So they have cameras up in the sky for oncoming planes coming down on top of them, and
I agree.
Of course,
Sure
it's
yeah,
that's one of the most important places. Of course, they have cameras pointing all around.
Yeah,
they have to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if I could finish, like, if a plane actually crashed into the Pentagon and all this other stuff, how would any of the footage survive the plane crashing into it?
I'm sure there's at least one camera that had to get it.
They have black boxes. Like,
Yeah.
It's not like only a camera where you can just put a VHS tape in it. And
besides, we're talking about an important building. They surely provide the best capabilities for footage or data to be stored efficiently.
Yeah, it's like one of the most important buildings we have in America. So, like, it's well protected.
Well protected, but not protected enough against a common airline plane.
Well,
so
who's going to stop a freaking airplane crashing into the Pentagon? Like, we're not Superman. We're going to come out of nowhere and just fling it the other direction.
For example, if they attack the White House.
What about attacking the White House? You like
and
cut off or didn't?
Well, like, speaking of the White House and everything, why, like, if it was an inside job too, why have one of the planes that you hijack and everything just crash it into a field?
Well, that was because the people tried to fight back, and like it didn't get to the point where it was trying to get to.
Yeah,
but
here's my thing though: if it was an inside job and all planned and everything, and the original destination was supposed to be the White House, why would you target your own fucking your own capital? Like, again, I could understand like non-important buildings like the Twin Towers for a inside job, but like the fucking White House.
Maybe that was the plan. Like, it was meant to go to the White House, but never did. So it made it seem like they were trying to get to the White House.
Yeah, but that's what I just said though. But and then your whole thing is that the civilians fought back and everything. This is my point. What if the civilians didn't fight back? Because the civilians couldn't have possibly been in on it. So, again, this is my whole thing. How the fuck could this have been a fucking inside job just for some damn oil? It doesn't make sense from any fucking viewpoint.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense either that America attacked Afghanistan after these attacks when all the hijackers were from Saudi Arabia. 15 out of the 19 were from Saudi Arabia, their closest ally.
Yeah, I really don't know. I to me, neither of the sides really make too much sense to me. It's kind of just like a blinded thing. Like we really don't know what happened. We just know what we were taught in schools, you know. So
Well, here's
Yeah.
here's the thing though. It's perfectly easy with hindsight, you know, and like fucking almost 18 years later, to just go back and be like, well, why did they do this? That didn't make any sense. Whereas like during the current point in time and everything, you just making decisions and everything wouldn't have been easy, and they could have just not known where the terrorists were from
No,
at
they
the
knew.
time.
They had passports. Even though like the steel beams and everything, they found the passports. That's the weird part. I remember they showed the passport in the news in CNN, BBC, but they still decided to attack another
Yeah,
country,
because CNN's such a reliable news source.
and that's another thing we can talk about.
Also, how do
yeah,
they always find passports? Remember when France had a bombing? They still found a damn passport. Do these suicidal bombers go to the bombing and they just take their passports with them?
yeah. I want to take my
That's
fucking
kind of
passport
weird.
Well,
with me.
if you think about it though, like if you're gonna do a suicide bombing, how are people going to know you did it if you're fucking dead?
But who's to say their
You
point
need.
is they're trying to get famous? Like they're trying to like I don't know. They just want to. We don't know their motives, you know.
Well,
'Cause they're
yeah,
dead.
true, but I'm just saying it's more than likely, like with a lot of terrorist groups, you know, who take responsibility for the attacks they do and everything. It's so like people know who the fuck did it, right?
Yeah,
So you don't want to just be some fucking like you don't want to suicide bomb and have nobody know who the fuck you are, you know?
And then
You want pe
the passport is a document. It's something made out of paper. Doesn't it get burned?
yeah.
if a Game Boy
Especially
can.
especially if the whole building burned down because of the jet fuel. How does that passport survive? That
I'm
doesn't make sense.
I'm just saying, if a Game Boy can survive a bomb blast and still work, I'm gonna say a fucking passport can
Yeah, but
survive an
it's
explosion.
Game Boy and passports aren't even comparable. One's made
Yeah.
of paper.
Both burn, both are fucking cheaply made, and like, you know,
Yeah, but paper's more flammable than fucking some trash ass plastic.
plastic is pretty fucking flammable.
But not as flammable as paper. Like it's paper.
Makes sense.
Mm.
Yeah. So most of us believe it was an inside job, from my understanding, at least. It seems like Grimm's the only one that's kind of against it.
DDK, if I recall, said he didn't buy it.
I
Did
wasn't
he?
exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure what's happening. Well, like if it was an inside job or not. I don't
I
know.
mean, I give proof that like a false flag has happened before, something similar. So why can't it happen again? Like, you get me,
Well,
Graham?
you gave an example of a what if, like an idea was proposed, right? It was never implemented or put into practice,
It
though.
was it was gonna
Oh,
it was actually gonna get implemented, but the president JFK, with something else we can talk about later, he was killed after he refused that proposal. So
That's a
I don't know.
great segue into the whole JFK conspiracy.
Yeah.
which one?
Which one?
I don't know that one.
You know what the most interesting one is? I think like all the coincidences between him and Abraham. Like, have you seen them all? It's
Yeah,
really
it's
cool.
what.
Someone had to look them up. They have like so many coincidences. It's weird. Him
Mhm.
and JFK.
This is what I just think is weird, though. Like, if you're the president, though, like, why drive in a fucking, you know, like no roof covered fucking vehicle in fucking broad daylight with like no security?
I honestly don't know. I mean, oh god, I don't know, man. But one of the things I think was cool about the JFK thing was what was one of the conspiracies? The mafia did it or something, I believe.
I
The
believe the
mafia.
CIA did it.
Well, someone said the mafia paid. Who was the guy's name? Oswald or something like that. I don't recall the shooter's name, but they paid him because he was involved and like he had to settle some debt or some crazy shit.
I've heard that.
And then and then he just shot the president, that's a big debt. But
Again, I'm not too well versed on any of the JFK's conspiracies, but I do remember watching one video where it showed like his bodyguards moving out of the way before he got shot.
Mhm.
Like they kind of got off the car,
Like they
and then he got
framed
shot,
him for the shot.
Yeah, they like got out of the way and just let it happen. You know, I can't remember it completely, so I can't completely speak on it. But I do remember watching a video or something like that before.
Or
So yeah, I'm
so
CIA mafia. Isn't it? That'll be kind of a cool story though. You got killed because you owed a lot of money to the mafia.
yeah.
Fucking,
it's not cool, but it's kind of cool, you know.
Donald Trump gets assassinated by the mafia because he owns a small loan of $1 million.
hey, Donald, you know you gotta pay up, buddy.
It's just a small loan. It ain't that important.
Oh God. So how outlandish are we going with the conspiracy theories? Because there's a couple.
I don't know, but there's one that I really want to talk about. Because
are we going to supernatural shit or not?
Yo, which one do you want to talk about, Real?
Oh, the one that I want to talk about the most is something I used to like entertain when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I used to think about it all the time, was life being like a whole simulation, like everything. It's like you're inside a simulation. I used to think about it all the time when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Nice.
Is that really a conspiracy though?
Are we gonna have Agent Smith coming after us for realizing the truth?
I don't know. I don't know if I believe it or not.
Yeah, I feel like
so. Did the movie actually bring people's attention to that, or was it that the Matrix?
No, it's not even. I didn't watch The Matrix as a child. It was like something that I just randomly thought of one day. I just thought about it. I was like, "Yo, this could be an actual thing."
Maybe you were just playing The Sims and you thought, like, maybe I'm one of these.
I don't know. I was a weird child.
Like,
I spent a lot of time in trouble. So like, I was like, whenever I'm just locked in my room, I'll be sitting there like, damn, I'm in a simulation right now. Like,
a little Real getting punished. He's just like,
simulation. Yo, Real. You know what you should have did? You should have done the Konami code so you could just, fucking 50 life your way out of that shit. Fuck, I can't speak.
No, I always thought there was always something higher that was controlling my life in a way.
Like aliens?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a cool conspiracy as well.
But seriousness, though, free time gives a lot of people a lot of time to think, and that free time brought a lot of inventions that we can't live without today.
Yeah, so like,
it's very viable.
I believe that our paths in life are already chosen. Like, there's nothing you can really do about it. It's been planned out, and I believe there's like different roads that you could go down, but at the end of the day, it's all planned.
So I have a question for you. Yeah. Who do you think would be responsible and the master of the simulation?
That's something beyond me, man. We don't know. We're in the simulation.
And then who's the master of the master?
Who's the master of the master's master? We don't know.
Oh yeah, like whenever I think about, like, this is the same thing when they talk about like when the universe was created, like pre-Big Bang. I'd be thinking like, yo, where'd like everything come from at the start? It's so mind blowing to think about. Shit's crazy.
Well, here's the thing though: if we even were in a simulation or whatever, it would be physically impossible to prove it.
Yeah, it would, and that's it's. I don't know where to start. We're talking about it. We can't prove it in a way, but I could believe it too.
So that's more like a belief.
Yeah, I guess it's more of a belief than conspiracy, but
it's kind of like a god, right? You can't prove or disprove it. There's like no supporting evidence for either case because it's a I forget the term, but it's one of those. No, it's like it's one of those things that you can't prove whether or not if Fuck off, Maxim. Fucking, you can't prove whether or not though there's like anything for the scenario. You know, if it could be plausible or true or not.
Word.
Fuck, I'm tired.
Yeah,
I've been up for like 20 hours. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I believe in the simulation thing, but I'm just saying, like, if I was retarded enough, I would believe in it because, like, it could be a really believable thing.
The way you guys are speaking about this, if I can call it conspiracy, so can I say that religion is a conspiracy? Is a belief?
Oh yeah. Religion is like a bunch of conspiracies. Like fuck. Like don't like there's so many.
Yeah. I
Religion
think one of the
itself.
things, like, personally, okay, I am religious, but like I think like the Bible, bro, that shit's like it's been changed so much. Like it's been changed like to make people what is it, do it like they want to happen. You know what I mean? Like they said in the slave days, right? They changed the Bible around so then they could listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
They could listen to their masters. So I think like we'll never actually see like a real version of it.
Yeah.
That's one.
Yeah, I think this is actually present in the Renaissance era where, people are actually realizing, hey, the fathers in the church is actually changing the Bible around to fit his own gains, and we're actually losing from this. So there is a movement towards this.
And then of course, what was it? What king of England was it? Who had all the wives and he wanted to divorce his wife, and he made his own.
Yeah,
I forget what king it was.
I can't.
But it was the king of England who divorced his wife, and he made the Church of England.
Yeah, here's the other thing too is there's entire books missing from the modern Bible, and how we know this is other books will reference them and everything, but they're not there. And so they could have either been lost to time and shit or like purposely omitted because they had stuff that didn't fit the whole Christian values.
So are you saying like the Vatican is withholding like the Bible verses?
We already know the Vatican's withholding a fuck ton of knowledge, so I wouldn't put it past them. So,
but why would they do that?
I just said like the whole Christian value thing, because those books or parts or whatever could have stuff that go against the modern teachings and practices, and would kind of discredit itself. And so, in order to keep followers and keep making money and all this other stuff so they can keep the religion going and strong, they purposely omit these things. It's just a conspiracy theory to fit the theme, I don't know if I believe it or not, but it's just an interesting thing to think about, though, is how big the Bible actually could potentially be. Yeah. Because we don't know how many parts could be missing. Exactly. And the Bible's already one big book. I've yet to meet anyone that's actually read the whole fucking thing.
Yeah,
so
definitely went through the ages. Even earlier than, don't forget that Christianity came before Islam. So
that's the other thing too, is like the Bible's the best-selling book ever in history, and yet nobody has ever read the whole thing. I just find that ironic.
I'm sure a lot of like church people have.
Yeah. Well, actually, you'd be surprised. Most church people have their pastors and stuff read them Bible verses and stuff, and then they go back and reread that stuff. They don't actually go in
like
and
the main
read it
people
themselves.
in church, like not the people who are attending.
DDK, I have a question for you. You're religious, right?
Yeah, I am.
So, if you happen to come across like the whole Bible and you don't agree with it, will that make you less religious?
No, because I'm religious, but like I've said, I don't think I think the Bible isn't like the what has to exactly happen. It's more I just believe more in God, and a higher power, all that shit. Because I don't think like a man who wrote a book should be able to tell you how exactly the life should be lived. I think it was more of guidelines than a set thing you should do.
Mm.
So if I did,
I was just gonna say that reminded me of for Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, with the whole parlay shit, the pirate rules and everything. It's just more of guidelines than actual.
yeah.
Let me hit y'all with this. Did the man who invented college go to college?
Oh, God.
Real. Am I the only one who noticed humans on the same shit? Y'all possibly.
God fucking damn it, Hobson. I don't know why I just thought of that randomly, but I did.
Because Hobson's a big okay, so I was can we go into supernatural shit or not? Like,
Yeah,
what kind of super?
Yeah, sure.
All right. First off, let's say your thoughts on the 27 Club, because that's a well-known conspiracy.
You have to explain that to me.
The
I don't know.
27
Club is when
we're
celebrities kill themselves when they're like around.
Okay.
The whole 27 Club is it has multiple members: Kurt Cobain, Jimi Hendrix. One of the weird ones I've thought is Amy Winehouse, who died when she was 27, and she specifically said, "I don't want to be part of the 27 Club," which is kind of fucking creepy. But it's basically you know the whole allure of what is it? People like making a deal with the devil, right, to get famous. So they say at 27, basically you're famous, and then you die at 27, and you go wherever, you know. So what's your thoughts on that
deal, though?
Huh?
The devil, man.
Obviously, everybody who did it. I don't know if you believe in that. Yeah.
Uzi Vert won't die at 27, bro. Just watch.
I mean, it's kind of like if you look at, there's a whole documentary about it, and if you look it up on Wikipedia, you can see all the people who are part of the 27 Club. It's a lot of people. I think it started gaining traction when Kurt Cobain died, I believe.
Well, you said Jimi Hendrix died when he was 27 though, but he
was it Jimi Hendrix? I thought it was.
Yeah, he did.
No. Well, here's the thing though. He would have been 28 though.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Well, like fucking. Well, so he died. He died literally like he died like a month before his birthday. So he practically would have been like 28.
I mean, he died
it's
before his
27.
birthday. Yeah, just being 27.
Yeah, it doesn't mean like it could be a day before and you're still 27, you know?
Yeah, but like I'm just saying, if it's the whole 27 Club thing, why wait till you're almost?
It's not exactly when you're 27. It's just at some point when you're.
No. Yeah, no. But this is my thing though. Like, if it's a club and everything, like, why would you wait till you're almost to where you couldn't join the club though?
I don't know. It's just
technically you're still 27, so
yeah, you're still 20. I mean, like, I don't know, like if oh gosh, I was gonna give a bad thing, but you know, if a girl's 17 and the law is 18 and she's a day before she's about to be 18, it's still pedophilia technically. That's the law, you know. So
yeah, but like that's law though. We're talking a conspiracy theory here, so.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's still 20. Like, that's what it is. I still find the weirdest one was Amy Winehouse, though. She specifically said she didn't want to die at 27, and then she did.
She made a deal with the devil, bro, and she knew it was coming. I'm telling you that right now.
Yo, that's some other conspiracy theories we can talk about. People who made fucking deals with the devil.
I mean, who was the first?
The devil or Illuminati?
I mean, that's usually grouped together a lot.
I have like. When I think of this kind of stuff, I think of like, especially like music, when people are like, oh, I sold my soul to the devil, blah, blah, blah. I either think Illuminati, the literal devil, or when they say they're selling their soul, they mean like they're signing away their lives to like these big labels, and like they have to follow everything the labels tell them to do and all that. So like there's like multiple ways you could take what they mean by devil. But
but here's the thing. Would you say 50 Cent sold his soul to the devil?
50 Cent? I have no clue. But what I was gonna say was, I don't know. Like, it's weird because like some artists, they like when they're talking about the devil and stuff, like they're very specific. Like you know on one of the songs talking about that is you remember on To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick had his interlude For Sale, and he was talking about like Lucifer the whole song.
Yeah.
I mean the whole album basically. he was like, and remember, like he was like, I remember you was conflicted. Lucifer was all around me,
Yeah,
like
I remember.
they're specifically saying that, not just like the devil as in a label.
But here's the thing, though. There's this there's this dude who Robert Johnson who a bunch of people remember he was a terrible guitar player and he couldn't sing for shit.
Yeah. Then he
And
made the
so
song
he went,
about doing it,
and
right?
then he went away for a while, and he came back, and all of a sudden he can play the guitar fucking like a god, and fucking he has an amazing voice all of a sudden, and he makes 3 songs talking about making a deal with the devil and everything, and then he like fucking mysteriously fucking dies.
What was he like? I went down, and I know there's a famous song here. I know what you're talking about exactly.
Yeah, but he died very shortly after, though. He started making his music like 2 years after. Wow. And so there's a bunch of people that legitimately think this dude sold his soul to the devil to like make some music and everything.
Why would the devil let you like sing a song about making a deal with him?
Okay,
that doesn't make sense.
here's the thing though. But here's the thing, though, not like a nigga will sell his soul to you, right? For like, and all you have to do is just give him a good voice and magically make him good at playing the guitar. That's not a lot to do. And then you collect that in like a short time, relatively speaking, for someone who's been around for like practically almost all eternity, so 2 years ain't really shit to the devil. So. It's a really good investment if you think about it.
This guy's talking about it like it's economy.
Bro, that like if your currency is souls and like fucking damning people to hell, then yeah, that is kind of your currency because that's what you deal with.
What about like
what you deal in?
All right, so we're talking about the devil and all. Like Real brought up, the devil is a lot of times nowadays in conspiracy theories grouped in with the Illuminati. What's your thoughts on the Illuminati? First, let me say my thoughts. I don't think it's exactly like something. I mean, we already know like there's powerful people who sway politicians and shit. We already know this shit, and there are like powerful people running the world. Yada yada yada, right?
Yeah.
Because there's every politician is like they're usually crooked because someone's funding their campaigns. Someone's funding their campaigns, giving them money, and usually it's a select group of people who are giving a lot of money to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that being said. What are your thoughts on that?
Isn't the Illuminati the modern day equivalent to like the fucking New World Order or like the fucking higher power or the patriarchy or like whatever fucking term
the New World
you
Order
give it to?
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
I'm not like saying like it doesn't exist or whatever, but like I find it very hard to believe that the world leaders would legitimately be all buddy like that. Cause I'm just saying if it was the case, then I'm just saying I would imagine some things playing out quite differently. I'm not denying that like a bunch of world leaders and behind the scenes politics happen, because like there's this one thing, this one club where only like the elite of the elite can get into, and like a lot of.
Wait, is that the one in the forest?
Bohemian
yeah, the one out in the. Yeah,
right,
that shit. I couldn't remember the name of it. Yeah, so there's things like that.
I'm sorry, but one time Alex Jones went there and he started recording everybody.
Yeah, but
and he was like, "Look at this! It's the leaders. It's 1%."
Yeah, that's my thing though. There's like things like that and everything, and who the fuck knows what goes on in there and shit. But like. The Illuminati as a whole, like where everyone's like a member and like doing all this shit to better each other, I don't buy it for like a full 100%.
But doesn't that make you like believe in the 9/11 conspiracy? Like powerful people doing something
it doesn't
for their
make
own good.
sense. If it made sense, no, it doesn't.
I mean, the powerful corporations and the people working for them, they want some profit. So they.
So here's the thing, right? So like fucking here's the difference between a believable conspiracy theory and a non-believable conspiracy theory is like here's some non-believable conspiracy theories is like the moon landing was fake. What you don't gain anything other than the illusion you won the space race even though you already lost the space race. So again, that doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make any sense to fake it. The Earth being flat, again,
that's
that's
one of the
another.
stupidest. Honestly.
Yeah, again, that's another thing that is like there's no benefit for that.
But what I'm telling you is like you talked about the powerful people, they're swaying the vote to make more profit. For example, if they work for the oil companies, they want more profit, so they need the oil in Iraq or fucking Syria or something. So they sway the American vote to invade the country. Like that makes sense, doesn't it?
Hang on, fucking
Yeah.
So I saw this thing that said like we get like less than like 4% of our fucking oil from the Middle East.
Right.
Yeah, but like okay, 4% of fucking billions of dollars. For example, if a powerful fucking oil tycoon he wants to get more profit, he needs the oil in Iraq. Even if he owns like 2% of the fucking oil.
No. Here's the thing, though, right? You would have to spend the money to set up the fucking all the shit for 9/11, right? And everything, and get the terrorists to get along, and like
No, I'm not saying the corporations are doing it. Yeah, but I'm not saying the corporations are doing it. They're just making the government do it to themselves, so they don't lose any money.
But here's the thing, though. They could just ask them to buy their fucking oil instead of starting a war for us to quote steal it.
Boring.
Yeah, that's
but
boring.
Here's
also,
here's the so you go from stealing oil to buying it now.
Yeah, okay, you're buying the oil. You're essentially losing money. If you can do it for free, then
yeah, but you're also
you
losing
have
money
to
by invading these countries to get the
No,
oil.
actually, the corporations don't lose money. They don't use their own money to invade. The government does it for them, and who's the one that gains everything? It's the corporations.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not exactly sure about this. This is a hearsay, but before the Iraqi-Kuwaiti invasion happened, the U.S. offered the current sheikh at the time to plant a military base in Kuwait, a U.S. military base. The sheikh he disagreed and declined this offer kindly. But after a week of this offer, the Iraqi-Kuwaiti invasion happened, which now opened the doors for the U.S. to basically demolish Iraq into nothingness.
And how did they do that? They got the what's her name? Naira. She got to testify against the Iraqi in the Congress. She said that the Iraqi people are taking babies out of the incubators, but all that was fake. But that still made the government attack Iraq.
You know, as well, there's also a controversy that Saddam Hussein, the guy who was supposedly hung for crimes against humanity, the controversy says that he hasn't been hung, and he's not dead.
I mean, I saw the video. I believe he's hanged.
People argue that that's not him. That's someone who looks like him. I don't know, man. I just want to believe he's hung because, well, Kuwait's been better ever since he's gone.
Yeah.
What about?
Oh no, what were you saying? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, how much do y'all know about like celebrities faking their deaths? like Elvis,
Yo,
Tupac.
we need to talk about Tupac right the fuck
We
now.
need to talk about Pac, baby.
He's
Well,
in
this
Cuba,
goes into
bro.
the Illuminati thing because everybody knows his posthumous album was Humerus, however you say that shit, was Illuminati. Yeah. And he was talking about killing the Illuminati in like a lot of the songs. Mm-hmm. So let us go.
So why Cuba?
Why Cuba? I can actually tell you why Cuba. His as you might know, his aunt was a part of the Black Panthers, correct?
Yeah.
And you know, Cuba was like they were accepting to black people a lot. And his aunt actually went to Cuba because she was going to get arrested for being a Black Panther, and that's the main reason people thought he went to Cuba, I believe.
Yeah, I feel like yeah. What am I even saying? I'm not even speaking. I'm like having a conversation in my head again, just like last time. No, the fucking Tupac. I feel like he faked his death because like the whole Illuminati thing. I think he did have ties with the Illuminati, and that's why like he made like a whole album called Killuminati.
Yeah.
But like I feel like some other famous people might have just done it for the same reasons, or they just don't want to be in the spotlight no more.
Okay,
yeah.
So how many times was Tupac shot supposedly?
Was it 19 or something?
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was a lot, and the other weird thing that when he was shot in the drive-by, that was like one of the only days he didn't wear a bulletproof vest, and he wanted to, and he'd like his bodyguard, he didn't want to sit. He wanted to sit on the side instead of like in the middle. In that specific day,
but
when usually he would wear his bulletproof vest.
I heard he didn't wear the bulletproof vest because he was going to the fight with Tyson.
Well, he got back from the fight is when I believe he got shot.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's
Why wouldn't we say that someone like Eazy-E faked his own death, even though Eazy-E died of AIDS, which is a chance, basically?
Let's talk about Eazy-E. The conspiracy about Eazy-E, right? So basically,
tell me about it.
Suge Knight, he supposedly got something where like he like injected him with like basically like stuff that would give him AIDS or some shit.
Yeah.
And the weirdest thing that ever happened, a lot of people suspected it, right? Because like Suge was a weird motherfucker. He
really was, yeah.
But like he was on like a late night show, right? And like out of nowhere he slipped something in. He was like, you know what? You don't even have to shoot somebody to kill them anymore. You could just inject them with AIDS or something. Like you'd have to find the exact clip of it. I believe Eazy-E's son posted it, and he was like really mad at Suge Knight about it. But yeah, he was really mad at Suge Knight about it. But yeah, that's a big conspiracy that a lot of people think is true as well.
I looked up how many times Tupac was shot at, and it was like 14 shots been fired, and like not a single one hit Suge Knight, who was also in the car with Tupac at the time. Like Tupac got away scotch-free, and Suge also doubts that. Suge himself doubts that Tupac is actually like legitimately dead.
Suge,
so
yeah, it was a lot of shit, man. If Pac is alive, shout out to Pac,
Yeah, they even canceled like his memorial and stuff, and there's like a conspiracy that he's living in fucking Malaysia.
I wonder how many 12-year-olds got to X. I think X had the same thing happen to him.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people saying like X is still alive. Like there's like a video of him on the ground with like a blanket over him after he passed.
There's a video of him in the car.
But there's a picture of Tupac, dead Tupac.
Yeah,
but is it really Tupac?
I saw something like they said I don't know, it was something on the table, and when he was on the table, and they said it looked weird or something. I don't exactly remember what it was, but it seemed a little weird on the table or something.
Yeah, I think what really convinced me was the fact that it was 14 shots and Suge Knight didn't get hit once. He was like in the car as well.
Well, here's the thing though, is some people go to war, right, and like they don't get shot once, like in a whole war. So I don't think it's too far fetched to
a whole battlefield compared to like a small compact car.
Yeah,
not one hit Suge Knight.
Here's the thing though. Then first of all, they weren't aiming for Suge. They were aiming for Tupac. And the other thing was he was on the other side of the car.
Yeah, he was driving.
Yeah, and so that's the thing though, is you have all this stuff between you and these bullets, and people really underestimate how much bullets hitting stuff actually slows them down and like decreases their impact, because a lot of people think it's so easy for a bullet just to go straight through someone and like all the way and hit someone else, where most of the time most guns have difficulty even going through one person. That's why a lot of people and stuff have to go, like when they get shot, they go to the hospitals and stuff to get bullets removed and stuff, because they don't always go all the way through. And you also have bones and stuff that bullets typically can't go through, so I don't think it's too far-fetched. Because, like, weren't they just using, what, does anyone know what gun they were using?
I'm not even sure.
Probably just a normal 9mm Glock.
Yeah, if it was just a normal 9mm, that ain't gonna go through a person.
Even though Suge Knight himself doesn't believe Pac was dead, and he was there himself seeing it happen.
Well, no, we're not. I don't think they're trying to exactly disprove that. I think they're more talking about like that part of it just isn't something you should rely on. The thing I was like, I don't know. The fact that he made the album Illuminati and the Cuba thing ties so well because of his relatives and stuff. It makes a lot of sense.
Coming back to the picture you're talking about, the one with his dead body, he didn't have the tattoo in his neck, the Machiavelli
That was what
tattoo.
it was. It wasn't. He didn't have a tattoo.
Yeah, he didn't have the tattoo. So
speaking of rappers,
I saw hold on. Before we go on to that, the tattoo thing, that also I don't think that's also reliable, because also in the X video showing like him slumped in the car, like a lot of his tattoos looked like they were missing, and I don't know why. So I don't know why it was like that. But X is obviously really dead. But
the Tupac picture was really close.
It was a good picture.
Yeah, fair enough. It was a kind of a shitty video on Snapchat for X.
One of the things I was gonna ask was, speaking of rappers conspiracies, one big rapper who has a conspiracy surrounded around him, but not only with like making a deal with the devil, but a lot of things. It's being a clone is Eminem. People said he died in a car crash in 2005, I believe it was. And like a lot of people have pointed out, like the fact that he looks very different now than what
I
he
think
looked
that's
back
just
in the day.
Botox on his face, like plastic surgery.
But you know what I mean, though.
Yeah, I know.
That's one of the big conspiracies. Also, Gucci. Can we talk about Gucci? Gucci being a clone, bro. All this clone shit in general.
I mean, he was fat, and then he just came out. He's a little skinny boy, man.
Like it's not possible for fat people to be skinny.
Fuck
no, it's not.
It is, bro. I'm living proof.
There is a thing called fat suits. I'm just saying.
But nah, what are your thoughts on like the cloning things, guys?
That's like ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. Have you heard of Kid Buu? I'm sure you heard of Kid Buu.
Yeah. I was gonna say like, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that shit is so fucking ridiculous. He made up those lies to get away from his child abuse charges.
I mean, the thing is, what makes it so far-fetched with our technology right now, the only way you could really clone something is if they were both cloned at birth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you would have to clone, like, this would be like the Illuminati making people and then cloning them in case one fucks up and then just keeping them there. That's fucking crazy.
Unless they have like a technology, way advanced technology than us.
Wouldn't that
we can only clone like at birth, I believe, right?
Even the like Kid Buu situation, he's like, oh yeah, I was cloned in Toronto and I escaped. I was like, if you fucking escaped, wouldn't it be like the Canadian government coming after you? They wouldn't just let a clone just fucking walk off into the US.
It's fucking Star Wars and all. Speaking of this.
Yeah.
The Clone Wars.
Well, like,
people get cloned like that, man. It's just like, nah.
Well, if that's the case, wouldn't that mean technically your identical twin would just take over your life after you fuck up and like die or get executed for fucking up and shit? That's kind of weird.
Yeah, but the thing is, like a lot of things, like even if you have a clone, it's not going to be exactly like you. Even if it was, unless it had the exact same upbringing, its decision making will be very different. You know what I mean? And like, unless it had the exact same upbringing as you, and everything happened in that life, like You know what I mean? Like, there's probably like specific things you remember that you don't do things because of it, right? In your life.
Well, you could just like fucking put it in a cryogenic state and then like fucking tell the clone like whatever the fuck happened and how they're supposed to act and behave. And since they have no previous interactions or anything really, it would be very easy to influence this being into being very similar to whoever they're supposed to replace.
I'm just I'm thinking of you like saying that they're just sitting there is like what was that thing from Dragon Ball Z when Vegeta had to get bigger and Goku had to get stronger, bro? That's all I'm thinking of, bro. And they're in like that blue tube or whatever. Gosh.
Reminds me of a fucking anime that I saw. I don't remember the name of it, or was it no? It was a TV show where this dude got complete total amnesia and everything, and so someone finds him and takes him and tells him all this information about this like fucking mysterious mystical person and everything, and that they are that person, and so then they believe that they are now this great savior and warrior, and magically fucking through the power of like imprintation or whatever, gain all these crazy ass powers and just goes on his own crusade and genuinely thinks he's this person. And it's quite interesting, really.
Oh gosh. I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracies. I think one of the well, a lot of them are just whoa what is I just looked at it. Yeah, maybe Kid Buu just really is a clone and nobody's listening to him.
The screenshot. All right, hold on.
How will they clone his tattoos?
Yeah. He obviously had a video of Instagram Live where there was two of them, and people are like, well, it's Instagram Live, it has to be live, there's no way he could have faked it. And I was like, yes, there is. There's obviously going to be some way where you could upload like a fake video and pretend it was live.
The only way I could see if it wasn't fake is if like he was responding to comments and shit.
Yeah, he wasn't responding to comments, and also they never touched each other. They always stood like the two quote unquote clones would be so far apart from each other. They would never actually get close at all. And that's my biggest problem.
My biggest problem is how would they clone his tattoos? Like how?
I don't know. I honestly I don't really believe in cloning shit that much.
Well, here's the thing though. Like, you know how like people can trace over like, you know, pictures and stuff and like, you know, pretty much accurately recreate them and everything. Couldn't you just like get tattoos, place them on the body part that they're supposed to be on, and then trace
you could do that. Yeah, I mean, like in the NBA, the Morris twins, they have identical tattoos and they look almost the same. So
yeah, it would be pretty difficult to
Cloning would be part of like replicating the genetic makeup of a person.
Yeah,
tattoos are not genetic makeup.
Yeah, I'm saying like they get them later. They get the tattoos later for like just to put them on. Yeah, you'd have to do that. Yeah,
I've met identical twins in my life before, and the only way I could tell the difference between them was their speech pattern and their voice, because they had two different voices.
I one of my class obviously two in my class growing up, and I could tell them apart just because like I don't know, it's like the way you look at them, you know what I mean? Like it's if you know them well enough, you'll just like know their mannerisms. That's with anybody though, you know what I mean? That's just
well,
like you said, speech patterns.
Well,
like that.
Here's the thing though, is they always dressed very similar and always had very similar haircuts too. So it wasn't like, you know, you couldn't really tell from appearance. So like every day they would be wearing something new and different, and like they technically do have the same hair. So I wouldn't know until I would fucking start talking to them. And so, but here was the thing though, is I was friends with one of them, and the other one fucking hated me. So every time it was like fucking flipping a coin. Who the fuck am I gonna talk to? Am I gonna talk to my friend, or I'm gonna get some shit for like, you know? And a lot of the time, I would actually, I would get wrong. Like, it was crazy.
I mean, yo, imagine being ugly and being a twin, and then y'all are just both ugly together.
How do we become 9/11 between two twins?
You know what
being
I
ugly?
think the weirdest shit is conjoined twins.
Yo, shout out to what the fuck is the guy? I'm from Maryland. I should know this. Well, who was the guy who ran for president? Ben Carson. He separated conjoined twins once. I just remembered that randomly.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing, though.
I think Ben Carson is a lizard person. He's not human. Just listen to him.
Mark Zuckerberg was a fucking lizard person.
Yeah, that too.
Well, they were saying he was like a robot, a lizard. Like, they couldn't make up their damn mind. But like, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though, about conjoined twins. Imagine living your entire fucking life with someone else constantly being there. Like, bro, like, you know how awkward it would be if you wanted to fucking like do something as basic as masturbate at 2 in the morning? Like,
is that incest?
Okay, asking the real questions, man.
Fucking conjoined twin, is that a threesome?
Here's the other thing too, though, is like if you wanted to hang out with people or do shit, right? Like you would have to drag the other person with you because they're. I can't imagine that. I would like that sounds like hell.
Okay. Hear me out.
Hell.
What if they're both boys and then one of them's gay? Only one. Just hear me out here. And then you only got one. All right, let me stop.
Yeah, that's a fucking yikes for me.
I'm getting it a little spicy, baby. You know.
The spiciness. We're so fucking off track from conspiracy theories. We're talking about
conspiracy theory: conjoined twins are failed clones.
Oh gosh.
Technically, that's true, though.
Yeah,
that is true. Not a theory. Good shit, Knock.
Knock should be a scientist.
Going back to the fucking cloning thing. Have you guys seen Al Roker freezing on TV?
No.
Yo, you remember when Al Roker got really
Al Roker?
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Oh yes, I actually do remember that. Yeah, he fucking malfunctioned. Cardi B had like the same thing. She just like stopped mid sentence and started staring.
No, who was the basketball player?
Yo, y'all can't even fret. Y'all don't have brain farts, so you'll just be in the middle of a sentence and then forget what the fuck you're talking about.
Watch that video. He just stops. He just stops and stares dead straight into the camera. That's not a brain fart. That was like a malfunction.
It looks
or something.
scary.
Maybe it was intentional. Hang on, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, watch it. It's nothing.
That's kind of scary. Why is he?
It just wasn't natural. It wasn't natural. It just turned his head. Well, Draymond, that was him staring out of space.
Draymond was just like,
Yeah, that's different. This is. Like,
I mean,
this is just weird.
Does Al Roker have anything to say though in that scene?
They made jokes after it, like.
He didn't even blink either. He just stared.
But that doesn't look okay.
Yeah, the whole Draymond thing, that was him just having a brain fart because you could see he was like blinking. He was just having like a little smile.
Yeah, Draymond's funny though. I love
it. It just looks like he intentionally started staring into the camera. I don't like.
Yeah, no.
I don't. What's unnatural about it?
Everything's unnatural. He just randomly turned around, stared with the most facialist expression ever, and he just like doesn't blink at all.
I would deadass do some shit like that just to fuck with people. Like, here's the thing though, is like that's a completely legitimate reason. Is like he just wanted to stare into the camera to fuck with people.
No, it's not. No, I'm not accepting that, bro. Because it was just so unnatural and so weird. It's just like
it doesn't look unnatural at all to me. I don't know. It just looks like the dude just.
He probably wouldn't be fucking up. At that point he's like on TV for like 20 years. So
yeah,
I think
that's my point. It just looks like he's just fucking with people.
There's Cardi B doing it.
Let's not talk about the title of that video. We're gonna have hitters sent on us.
MK Ultra.
I mean, that's a real thing. So
yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, Cardi B's thing was weird. She just
it was. She just stopped mid sentence and just stared and then continued on her sentence.
It's like the motherfucker had to. It's like the motherfucker who was typing her shit, like typing for her, like had to scratch his balls or something for a second. It's just like, oh shit, we're on live. Okay.
Yeah, now see the Cardi B one though fucking looks more natural and like something actually fucked up in her head than the other one.
I think both just look really unnatural. It's just not okay. It was like,
I don't know. I just, me personally, I think the first one is just the dude, was like decided he was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna stare into the camera and stuff, freak some people out maybe. And the second one, I have no idea what that is. It's like 2 seconds of her just like
freezing up,
like some Vietnam flashbacks. Just like she had an epiphany mid-sentence.
She could hear the trees talking.
The Al Roker one's just so weird though. Just randomly turns his head and just doesn't blink at all. Like this man really doesn't blink.
Calling these
people do that robot. To you real one day. I'm just gonna be there.
Yeah, you're going to not blink for a whole minute.
we're calling
these people robots. 13 seconds, my dude.
Yeah, but the weird part is it happens to a lot of people, like celebrities. They always just glitch. Yeah, it's just celebrities. So is there something
to it? Here's the thing though, they're on camera a bunch and they have a lot of coverage and like a bunch of people keep tabs on them. Of course you're gonna notice abnormal things when you literally have the entire world keeping tabs on you.
Wait. I mean,
it's like imagine all the weird shit you did that you yourself can't even explain why the fuck you did it, but other people witnessed it and are now fucking questioning it, but then make conspiracies about it and shit, and you can't just, and like if you try to come out and say it was like, well, like I don't know what the fuck I was doing, like, nobody's gonna believe that, so you just don't say shit. But then you have people like the people on this podcast and stuff is coming out and being like, nah, there's some weird shit going on here.
Because it is like, why just randomly out of nowhere just turn and be like, yo, I'm gonna stare dead straight into the camera and not blink
fuck with people. Like that's some shit I would.
But these are professional people. These are professional people that's been on TV for years. It's not you, Grim.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I know countless professionals that like fucking.
What professionals do you know? What professionals do you know?
Yeah,
bro. Okay. So let me rephrase. Well, like, no, in the sense that I know they like to fuck with their fans and people in general. They're just big fucking trolls.
Who's an fan?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Like,
fucking, like, you want an example of a celebrity that is like fucking just known for trolling his fans?
Yeah, but Al Roker isn't known for trolling his fans.
Yeah, but
so
here's
the issue.
Well, okay, but here's the thing though, like, what if he just wanted to say fuck it and decided it's like, I'm just gonna do this? Like,
the weird thing about, like, I think if they're like cloning fat people out there, Al Roker was one of them. That boy got skinny as fuck, man. Like, if you remember, like look up right now, like look up before and after of Al Roker. That boy was a unit. He was a fucking unit before, and then like he turned into some skinny boy. So him and Gucci got like the same shit going on. You know,
you're gonna say the same thing about DJ Khaled when he fucking finally becomes skinny or some shit?
Yeah, DJ Khaled's not gonna be. Let's just throw that out the window. This motherfucker's been—he's like Rick Ross. Rick Ross has been trying to lose. He's been eating pears for like 5 years. Shit ain't happening. Like what? No.
I eat pears and shit like that.
Pears and shit like that. Yo, imagine Rick Ross being skinny and he still has that fat ass voice. Like he's some slim motherfucker. He's just like, yo, what's up, guys? Shit would be horrible.
Hey.
For real. You don't sound like the monster from the Goonies. Hey, you guys. Okay, next.
Pears.
I mean, we don't technically have a next topic. It's just all conspiracy theories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, next conspiracy theory I meant we should talk.
Okay.
I think we've had a good enough talk. It's been like almost an hour.
The last one was an hour 40. Shouldn't we keep it consistent?
What? What was the last one?
Like an hour 40. Yeah.
What about chemtrails then, Knock? Fucking, you didn't want to talk about
chemtrails, really?
No, forget it.
Chemicals in the water that are turning the freaking frogs gay.
That doesn't make any sense.
The whole last segment should just be us fucking quoting Alex Jones. That's enough conspiracy content for fucking years.
Destroy the child.
Fucking, every time I
Look
think
at
of
this
Alex Jones
person.
now, I just think of Eric Andre saying,
Yeah, I want you to fuck my wife.
I want you to fuck my wife. Let me in.
I remember that fucking episode.
Why does my pee-pee come out yellow? Boo!
You're not Martin Luther King.
You're not Martin Luther King. He was just like, what the fuck? What was the other? Coachella sucked this year.
Yeah.
Yo, this is something I've kind of been thinking about. Like, it might be, it's not really related to like conspiracy theories and stuff, but like, if anything's possible, wouldn't that mean the possibility of something being impossible possible, therefore meaning that if the impossibility is possible because anything is possible, wouldn't it also be possible to do the impossible thing?
No, I don't think so, because if something is possible, then it's against something impossible. Meaning, if something is possible, it negates the impossibility of something.
Damn.
This is
In it, fam.
this is
Bro,
some serious shit.
that shit reminded me of that video of the kid. I want to have a dream of the dream, and I
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like, because like, if anything is possible, though, like
that means nothing can be impossible. That's it. 0% chance of impossibility, and maybe 0.1% chance of possibility.
But like the possibility of something being possible, though, and then like the possibility of something being impossible too, is all the same, because everything has an equal possibility.
I have no input on this.
Yeah, neither do I. I'm just gonna stay on the sideline.
I'll sit this one out, coach.
Well, it doesn't seem like we have anything else to talk about.
I got one more thing to talk about.
One more thing?
It's a sports thing, okay, real?
Okay.
Let's first talk about the Michael Jordan gambling conspiracy that you probably know about, right, bro?
Yeah, that's why I got kicked out of.
Let me catch everybody up who's probably not aware. You might know that if you saw Space Jam, that Michael Jordan played baseball because he retired for a little bit, right? So the conspiracy basically goes, he said he retired because what was it? Because he wanted to play baseball for his father, correct? Because his father wanted him to. But apparently he was like a fucking huge gambler, and like the NBA didn't want like that to be uncovered because he literally saved the NBA at that point. Like nobody was watching it for a while because Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were out of their prime, you know. So I don't know. What do you think about it, Real? You think it's true?
I think it's something plausible, especially with David Stern. Was it?
Yeah, David Stern.
He was kind of just a fishy person.
I mean, he did rig a lot of stuff, apparently, allegedly.
Yeah, I think it was plausible. They didn't want him to find out that he was like a huge gambler, so they kicked him out.
Because he was like, he was like the face of the league. That would be like, I don't know. That would be like finding out like Messi was or some shit. Even though that's a different like, and then La Liga like covered it up. You know?
Yeah, I believe it's an actual thing because like it would make sense that Michael Jordan was a gambler because Michael Jordan just never backs down. You know.
Yeah, like he'd be like, I'm going for the fourth quarter, baby. Come on, big money.
Yeah, exactly. He's that type of person that's always just taking gambles and just he won't back down whatsoever. So it makes sense that he would be a gambler, and it makes sense the NBA wouldn't want their face of the NBA to be.
But what's wrong with gambling?
It's
frowned upon. I mean, you have to remember this guy's supposed to be like a role model for kids everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, here's my thing though. I've never understood. Like, I can understand why gambling is like a thing for like adults and stuff. But like, I've never understood why it's like viewed as a negative thing per se. Because it's not like the same as drinking or like smoking, like drugs and shit.
I guess it's just the fact that you could lose all your money,
Yeah, and it's not.
Well, like here's the thing, though,
sort of acceptable. Like it was back in the 90s, like so. We don't know what it was like because we weren't around then.
Yeah, but It's the thing though, you could just very easily just like have a set up rules or implicate stuff to where you could have like safety nets involved in gambling, or like just teach people to be responsible with their gambling.
You think Michael Jordan was responsible? Michael Jordan
I'm
was 100% going all.
No. But here's my thing though: is like the only thing gambling is viewed negative wise, in my opinion, is not because you could lose all your money or anything, is because it's literally it's the original cash grab. You know, it's pretty much a way. It's pretty much a way of saying, "Hey, give me your fucking money." Like I don't, fuck you.
Yeah. The other, I mean, like, do you want to talk about the other big conspiracy from the NBA, real or not?
What's the other one?
Well, just ranking things in general. Like,
I kind of gotta go.
Oh yeah, I remember David Stern with the whole New York thing with the lottery.
So yeah, to get Patrick Ewing. Yes, that was, and just so you know, that was the first time the lottery was ever implemented. It was. In NBA history. And people say, when that happened, he folded the paper, because that paper is not back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
he folded the corner of the paper against the sphere, and then he just rummaged around and felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Go ahead, Grim.
Oh, never mind.
All right. Well,
just send it.
It's only me and DDK well versed on this whole NBA thing, because I don't imagine a lot of you watch the NBA at all.
Yeah, no, I kind of got to go too. So
yeah, so Grim has to go. So I'm just going to end it here. So it was great talking to y'all.
Yeah, boy.
So thank you all for listening to this podcast. Please join. I'll name this server later. It's a great Discord server with great staff and a great owner. In a way, no, he's a great owner. He is a great owner, and he allowed me to do this podcast thing, which is awesome. So anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time, I guess.